Hey guys, Max Tornado is here, and we're looking at our tutorial account. We are on episode 22. For those of you who have been following along, we made a lot of progress on this account. We're on, I want to say, day 24 or 25. Let's check it out. Day 25. We just collected day 25's rewards, 500 energy. Yeah, so we're in the process of trying to address our missions, right? We want to continue to focus on our missions, give those our attention. We are also in the middle of a clan versus clan, so let's check out how we're doing there. We're doing great. We're doing fantastic. We're going to be able to get all these excellent rewards, and I think I mean, we very easily could actually get this. I don't say easily, lightly. Like, I mean, it's still 120,000 points, right? It's going to be a lot, almost 130,000. But just another reason to remind you guys: make sure that you are in a clan. Look at that, we just leveled up. We are now a level 4 clan. Fantastic. So make sure that you're in a clan, right? If you're not already in a clan, this one's obviously full, so you can't join this one just yet. But we do have the Bastion 2. So whenever you do a clan search, you would just enter the Bastion, and then you'd put the number 2 after it. And just in case you haven't heard the update, plan is we're going to use the Bastion 2 as the clan that will focus more on Brutal and Nightmare um, clan boss, and then the Bastion 1 will be kind of left for focusing on easy, normal, hard clan boss. So that's the plan. And let me make sure my mic's not too far away because I don't want half my words to cut in and out, that kind of thing. Um, just, sorry, guys. Y'all have to hear me adjusting it. But yeah, thank you all so much for all the support. Like we're growing really fast on YouTube. We've got almost 200 subscribers, so that is fantastic. If you are not yet subscribed, we release daily raid content. Sometimes we release 2 videos a day, and if something comes up, then we'll release more, right, as needed. I try my best to be helpful, and especially for early game and mid game players, I account takeovers. In our Discord, we have a lot of super friendly, helpful veterans of the game who are familiar with different builds and different teams. So definitely join us in Discord. That's in the description. But yeah, I appreciate everyone. And speaking of updates, I was at work whenever all the news came out, but we have a new faction, right? We have a new faction that's been announced. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the video real quick. And what we'll do is we'll watch this real quick together. It's only 3.5 minutes, and I'm gonna actually, I'm not gonna watch the whole thing. My plan is, let me make sure. Here we go. Yeah. So my plan is to highlight the new faction and the new gear set. So we'll kind of just play through and go from there. So we'll kick it off right here when they begin talking about the SYLVAN Watchers. Now, if you're interested in the Ninja account giveaway, our keyword for this video is SYLVAN. Okay, so it's just the SYLVAN. You don't have to include the Watchers. If you include the Watchers, it's no big deal, right? As long as you include SYLVAN, so SYLVAN. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off here. So we'll watch this together.
A whole new faction is coming to raid, the SYLVAN Watchers. If the High Elves are a little too stuffy for you and the Dark Elves are slightly too brooding, this nature-attuned faction should be right up your street.
Man, they kill it with the aesthetics, guys. They kill it. Like, I mean, like, I don't know. It's almost difficult to believe that this is, for a lot of people, a mobile game, right? Like, I mean, what mobile game is walking around with graphics like this and visuals like this? I don't know. It's pretty cool. Now, another reason I love this so much is my main in World of Warcraft was a resto druid, right? So it was always about like nature themed and just being in touch with the earth and using nature to heal people or nature to damage people. So super excited to see how they continue to flesh out this faction. Whenever I first saw this, because like I said, I watched it earlier today. while I was at work. I had to rush to watch it, but I immediately thought, man, if they use an ability like Thorns or something, if you're familiar with World of Warcraft, it was a buff that you put on people, and when they attacked, it would do damage, and sometimes it could do slows if you had the talents and stuff. So, super excited to see this faction fleshed out more. But I mean, already, right?
For you lore heads,
Graphics
we've
are
got
so
you
cool. I mean, that looks straight out of like a like a tier set for World of Warcraft. So, super cool.
covered. Expect some juicy info about their history closer to release. We don't want to spoil too much, but let's just say the Sylvan Watchers come from a distant corner of Teleria and have acted as allies to the enigmatic Shadowkin in their rebellion against the forces of Cyroth. The Sylvan Watchers aren't all elves, mind you. This diverse faction includes various fey creatures such as Dryad.
Man, look at that. That is so cool.
Mind you.
Let's see.
This diverse faction includes various fey creatures.
Look at those guys. Like, that is so cool. I mean, I don't know. I am beyond excited for it. Like,
such as dryads, nymph-like warriors, and even monstrous nature spirits. There's plenty of space for creative champion designs that we've not had a chance to play around with before. Are they going to be tropey? Hell yeah, but they'll also look gorgeous. We've seen what the art team have been cooking up, and trust us, there are some super cool champions coming for this faction.
we believe you.
For
We
those
believe you.
already worrying about faction wars and their related quests, there's going to be a bit of a time lag before we update anything in-game.
Now, for early game players, we've been talking about the importance of having faction wars at least on our mind. It's not our priority right now. We're not trying to like build out level 50s and 60s to dominate faction wars. That will come eventually, but it's not our priority right now. One thing to just be mindful of is when they say to hurry and do your faction wars in case you need Lydia. That's really if like you've done almost all the faction wars to the very end game and you only need maybe one more faction left before you get Lydia. That is not the case for new and early game players, right? For new and early game players, it just means that we're going to need to collect one or two more champions so that way we can at least farm stage 1 or 2 to get all those glyphs, right? So just keep that in mind. Don't feel like you need to pressure yourself to start building champions to 60 just for faction wars unless you are already done with normal Doom Tower and you're already hitting Nightmare at least, but probably Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. So just keep that in mind.
So you should have plenty of time to finish up with the existing faction crypts before the Sylvan Watchers crypt arrives.
Guys, the animations are so cool. Like, that is so neat. Like, it just branched out from up top. Like, get out of here.
As always, we'll keep you updated. Now, let's move on to other features. Aside from an awesome nature aesthetic, this faction introduces champions with a completely new buff, Taunt. RPG and card game veterans can probably guess what it does already. Similar to Provoke, champions under a Taunt buff will force enemies to attack them.
So when I first heard this, I thought it was a debuff when I very first heard this. So I just want to make sure that you guys are clear with it as well, because there's so many buffs and debuffs thrown at new players that it can be a little bit overwhelming. So Provoke is a debuff that we put on the opposing team, and if they have Provoke on them, they're going to attack the person who placed Provoke, right? Drexthar Blood Twin. There's just so many different Provoke champions. Taunt is going to be a buff that you place on yourself, and the major difference here is like Provoke is really, really solid because they have to use their A1, right? They have to use their A1. Taunt, they can still use their A3, which might attack all enemies and stun you, whatever the case might be, right? So I don't think it's as strong, and it even says that it's not going to take priority over Provoke, so they're kind of admitting that it's not as strong as Provoke, but it's still, it still is going to be a way to help direct damage towards one champion versus maybe others that might be more vulnerable. So
unlike Provoke, though, enemy champions are not limited to using their default skills when attacking.
Right.
If you have multiple taunting
said.
champions, the enemy can choose which one to attack. So time getting your buffs up to match what skills your opponent has available. Even AoE attacks still have to target the taunting champion, but the rest of the attack works as normal. You need to keep in mind how Taunt interacts with other buffs and debuffs. For example, Provoke trumps Taunt, meaning that Provoke champions will still attack the champion.
I think Provoke is still a
even
better.
if there is a champion on the other team with an active Taunt buff. If a champion under Veil or Perfect Veil has a taunt buff active, they will still be targeted despite the Veil.
Right, and that is really big, right? Because we know Veil does damage reduction, so the fact that they will still hit someone who is veiled is impactful, right? That is really strong. Also, one other thing to keep in mind is, with debuffs, you have to have accuracy a lot of times, right? You can potentially not land your debuff because what if your ability says you have a 75% chance to provoke someone? Well, you can still not land it. So with taunt being a buff, as long as it's a 100% chance to place that buff on you, then you don't have to worry about all of those. There's 5 champions on the enemy team there in the dungeon. You don't have to worry about that not landing on a couple of them.
However, if you have 2 champions with taunt and one of them has a Veil buff active while the other doesn't, enemies will only be able to target the champion without a Veil buff. Champions outside of the Sylvan Watchers will get skills that can use taunt in the future, but as of the launch of this update, only a couple of special champions from this faction will have access to this brand new buff. We can't wait to see what strategies you guys come up with using taunt. Next up, Forge Pass Season 5 will feature a new artifact set called Defiant.
Okay, and so remember, Forge Pass is it's like $20 and gives you a whole ton of Forge resources. We talked about the importance of Forge resources, especially related to faction wars. But you can absolutely get a ton of good Forge resources even as a free-to-play player. So I can't stress this enough. When we go into the game real quick and we look at the Forge Pass that's currently available for a couple more days, all of this stuff on the very top is free, right? So you want to make sure you're doing these daily challenges. You want to try to make sure you're doing these because, think about it. This is epic forging materials, right? So like if we go to our forge right now and we see what we currently can forge from the bolster set, as a free-to-play player, I can get 5 pieces of 4-5 gear, and I can get maybe a bunch of good 4-star gear. As an early game player, that can be really big. So definitely at least make sure you're looking at the Forge Pass. I'm not saying to go out of your way to do something like building a champion to do something that's required here, but certainly, it is good to at least make sure you're getting the low-hanging fruit. So we'll go back to the video real quick.
This tanky set will increase your champion's defense by 10% and decrease the damage they take from AoE attacks by a whole 15%. Think of it like the Stalwart and Defense artifact sets smashed together into one. Mm-hmm. And the best thing? It's a 2-piece set.
Yeah, that's really big.
Champions out to reduce 45% of AoE damage, which should be huge in the arena and also against bosses like the Hydra.
Yeah, anytime you can reduce AoE damage, it's going to be huge. And the fact is, so many abilities in this game are AoE damage, AoE damage, AoE damage. Even for tanky champions in normal clan boss, not Hydra, Stalwart can be really effective, right? If you have a champion that's doing like an ally protection, well, then it can be beneficial to have Stalwart to reduce the damage that they take from additional AoE slams, so that way they're not dying. So super strong set. I love the fact that it's a 2-piece set. You can slap 2-piece sets together pretty easily, so love that.
Really a set worth looking into. Finally, spooky season is almost upon us, so we've prepared a trio of appropriately frightening champions to celebrate. Our artists wanted to try out some new animation tricks to make these champions stand out, and each one follows a recognizable horror theme to really get you into the Halloween spirit. Let us know what you think about their design in the comments below. And that brings this sneak peek to a close. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you...
Definitely some cool champions. I love this update. I love it. So like I said, guys, if you're interested in the Ninja account giveaway, make sure you're subscribed. That's step 1. Like the videos for sure. And then comment down below SYLVAN, right? SYLVAN. So make sure that you spell that correctly so that way you can be entered in for a chance to win. We are going to be doing the drawing for that on Friday, so just another day or two. But yeah, so as far as this video goes, I know we kind of started off with the Ultimate Death Knight and then kind of transitioned into the updates in the game, but I just wanted to mention those updates. It's so cool. I wanted to give you all my thoughts. So I have decided that I am going to 6-star Jamarsa. I'm going to 6-star Jamarsa. A big reason for that is she is going to absolutely help carry me through pretty much all kinds of dungeon content, right? The fact that she can revive all allies with HP and turn meter. I can build her really, really tanky. I can even build her with a lot of resistance if I can get enough resistance on her, which is kind of like a mid-game play, so be careful doing that as an early game player. But I'm going to try to build her super tanky, and I'm going to try to treat her similar to like a Duchess, where she can't be debuffed really easily. She can't be killed really easily, and so whenever it's her turn, if a bunch of her allies are dead in the dungeon, boom, they come up, and then we finish the job, right? So I think that she's going to be a pretty strong carry for me. I'm going to take War Maiden up to 50 for sure, and I am going to take Brachus up to 60 if I don't get a better champion. The reason I hesitate so much with Brachus is I don't have the legendary books to get him fully booked out. But just the simple fact of having him at 6-star and having him with like I think his A1 is attack one enemy, right? One enemy, yeah. So I'll either do Giant Slayer or I'll do War Master. Probably War Master since his A1 does the single hit, but I'll have to look into that to see other people's thoughts. I'll take Grave Chill Killer up to 50, y'all. I have been trying my absolute best to get a Frozen Banshee from the Ancient Shards, and it just goes to show you why Kel is so strong for the starter champion. I mean, to have a Kale, I would probably already be like almost one king. I mean, I probably wouldn't be one king hard yet, but I'd definitely be two king hard. I'm currently three king it. So just something to keep in mind. I think Kale's definitely the best starter champion, even though El Hain is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, so that's an update on the account. I'm going to pause the video, try to make some progress in some different areas. Like I said, we're doing really well with Clan v Clan. And as far as the energy, I'm probably going to farm more campaign just because I want to get some champions ready to be 6-starred. If you have not yet started to take advantage of the 50% gear removal cost, as we know, this game has stupid gear removal costs, and it can cost hundreds of thousands of gear to regear, hundreds of thousands of silver. Sorry, my speech impediment sometimes trips me up. It can cost a lot of silver, right? So if you have 50% less cost, that's a win. So take advantage of it. So yeah, I'm gonna pause the video. We'll come back. I'm only gonna try to make this video another 3 to 4 minutes long. I don't want it to be super long, but every time I say that, inevitably I find something cool that I want to talk about. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, I think I found what I want to do for the last couple minutes of the video. So I've been sitting on my Forge resources just a little bit because I wanted to use them during CVC because you get a lot of points for CVC. And like we've been talking about already in this video, the benefits of the Forge gear. So resilience, perception, fatal, right here, they're all good sets. And so we're going to go ahead and just craft them, see what we get, and we'll probably end the video. I always like to use my rank and rarity charms on perception. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of perception. I've not landed very many good, strong debuffing champions. I'd love to have me some strong debuffers, but don't have them just yet. So let's go ahead and craft these though. So absolutely, we're gonna do rank and rarity, and because this is it's an accuracy and speed based set. If I have speed charm or accuracy charms, I'm going to use them, right? So let's go ahead and put this up and see what we get. Defense percent with speed and some resistance. Okay, I'll take it. That's awesome. Let's see. I don't like to use the rank and rarity charms as much for 3 to 4-star gear because there's still chances you get 3-star gear, and eventually we will replace 4-star gear with 5-star gear. Pretty, that does happen fairly quick. So we'll look and see what other things we can use our rank and ready charms on. We'll go ahead and try to craft us 4 to 5. Preferably, we'd love to get the 5-star since we're using our charms. And bolster set is really, really strong. So I hope you guys have been able to do some of the Forge Pass stuff that's free. Now, with this set, it is kind of focused on HP, so we're going to go ahead and do some HP charms. HP flat stat, HP percent, accuracy crit rate. I mean, really, if this was HP percent, this would have been a phenomenal piece, right? Even if it was flat HP here, if these would just have been switched. This is still strong, though, right? Like, we are so early game that I'm not going to just toss away 5-star gear that has solid substats. But I will need to be mindful of, the fact that this is not going to scale as well as if it was HP percent. But, we do what we can with what we have. Let's see, 5-star attack percent crit damage. So this is where we know that this isn't necessarily going to be used for a super tanky champion. This is probably going to be an offset, right? This is going to be someone who is trying to do damage, isn't really worried about this shield, probably won't complete the set, almost guaranteed they won't. But it's just a strong attack percent crit damage set, substat, so for that reason. Uh-oh. 4-star HP percent crit damage. I mean, that's just really not very good. I want to sell it, but we'll see if, I mean, it's pretty bad. This is decent, right? HP percent. We'd love to see that. We'd love to see the accuracy as well, so that's a quite strong piece. Another epic. HP flat, and it's pretty low flat, with crit rate and resistance. At least, I mean, if we don't roll pretty high into resistance, that's kind of a bummer. So again, we kind of want to make sure we're using our charms in a efficient way. I would love to see some more 5-star pieces out of this. Okay, so we've got 6 resilience pieces. So we'll go ahead and use our rank for these. Okay. Attack percent boots with flat HP, resistance, and speed. Really, this is just bad. like this is just pretty bad. I mean, I can't. Like, I mean, everything about that piece was just bad. So, and I honestly, I need to be more willing to sell bad pieces. Again, this is terrible. Yeah, that's just bad. Oh, fruit fly on me or something. Oh yeah, that's the fruit fly for our dang spider. Lacey accidentally let a bunch of fruit flies out whenever we were feeding our spider. Attack percent, crit damage with HP percent. This is one of those pieces where it's just like, okay. It's certainly not going to be sold because, we could roll into some decent things here. So we'll definitely keep that. And we've got 3 more. Let's see. Defense. Ugh, that's not very good. It's not very good. We might end up putting it on a faction war champion, but we'll take it to level 8 at the most. So don't trick yourself into taking these flat stat pieces up super high. They'll just disappoint you. This is decent. I mean, it's a 4-star. It's fairly low roll on defense. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Nothing exciting. Oh, what do we have here? 4-star legendary HP percent with speed, crit rate, crit damage. This is a really strong HP piece because there are some HP damage dealers, right? Like Magnar. Magnar is my main arena nuker on my main account. Magnar still is my main damage dealer in arena. So don't sleep on the HP damage dealers for sure. All right, so we have 25 rarity charms left. I think what I'll do with those is probably go ahead and craft. I would love a strong bolster set, and my perception pieces that I've gotten so far aren't being put to super great use because I don't have the debuffers just yet. I feel like perception is going to pay off in the long run. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll craft 10 for perception. I may not even remember to put the charm. 3-star legendary. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. I mean, this is just bad. So we'll sell the 3-star legendary. Sell the 3-star rare. Because again, we are not going to keep 3-star pieces on this account. Like, we're not going to be tricked into wasting our silver on 3-star pieces of gear. They're not going to last. We know they're not going to last. We're not going to be duped into it. And it just goes to show you whenever you don't have those rank charms, the impact, right? Like, I mean, over half of these were 3-star. So, yeah. Okay, at least this one has speed, so that's nice. And this one has accuracy. Okay, so at least the two 4-star pieces that we got were decent. Now, uh, really, because I mean, the tricky thing is, right? Like we can burn these charms, and we could be potentially getting like legendary 3-star pieces. We're gonna throw legendary 3-star pieces away. Like just truthfully, we will. So I think what I'm going to do is instead of burning through all these resources and getting a bunch of 3-stars, I'm probably going to wait until at least I have some rank charms to make sure that I get a good chunk of 4-star pieces. And that's my plan. Just to show off the gear overall, we have farmed a fair amount of dragons. So like, let's check out, let's see. I feel like this used to work where you could just click just new and then it would go off. Now it doesn't. so okay. Here I'll look at it like this. So we love to see speed, crit rate together. So things like this. Oh man, I've got some good stuff to work with, guys. I've got some decent stuff to work with. As far as 5-star pieces on my account, let's check it out. So got some 5-star stuff to work with for sure. I don't think I've got very many 6-star pieces. I've only got one 6-star piece and it's flat HP. Definitely, you know, these pieces that are 6-star, still worth keeping for Faction War Champ. And, you know, if it rolls multiple times into speed, that's a win. So, let's see. As far as 4-star pieces of gear on my account, I've got currently 361 4-star pieces. As far as 3-star pieces go, we don't want anything really on here, but I guess these were just left over for Faction Wars. We'll sell all of these curing shields that we get, destroy shields that we get, stuff like that's going to be sold. Almost all that's going to be sold, right? It's very, very unlikely I'll keep any of it. Definitely shouldn't have any 1 or 2-star stuff. So yeah, just a comparison: 324 4-star and 207 for 5-star. So I think we're doing okay with our gear, and I will say one last thing before we finish this video, because we're nearing 30 minutes as per usual. Thank you guys so much for those of you who have reached out to offer accounts to give away. So appreciative. And it really helps to grow the channel because it gets my name out more, and you know, brings new players into the game because they have the chance of winning some new accounts. Y'all, when I say there are some phenomenal accounts coming up, make sure you're subscribed. I'm talking champions that I wish I had on my main account. There's a Krisk, okay? I'm not going to spoil it too much. A Krisk in one of the accounts, okay? So please subscribe, follow the channel. I hope you guys have a good night. I love hanging out with everyone in Discord. I wish I didn't have to work so much because, you know, while I'm at work, you guys are talking a whole lot, and then I come back in and I'm like, oh, that was a cool conversation I missed out on. So make sure you're in the Discord, enjoying the conversations with everyone. And you know, the best part about this game, I've always said it, is the community. Like, the community is what makes Raid. Without the community, this would just be a pretty game with some, you know, cool graphics. Kudos to all of y'all. It really does mean a lot to me. And unfortunately, I've ran into some issues with the referral system where I've done so many referrals for people to get their Jamarsas, but for whatever reason, it's not allowing me right now. I don't know if they figured out that my IP address is just creating a lot of referral accounts, and maybe they probably don't like that, whatever the case might be. But I've also heard of a couple people running into similar issues. So just be aware that I can't really help out with the referral stuff right now. I hope you guys have a good night. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Get enough rest. All the things. I'm trying to, you know, I say that for myself as well. I'm going to try to get back into the gym and take a little bit more care of my health, because I want to be here long enough to, you know, hang out with grandkids one day. And I know that if I sit around playing video games nonstop, and my work is also pretty sedentary, so just have to be kind to myself, I know. But I will catch you on the next video. Bye.